Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Stampin' Chat with Kay. It's so nice to be here. Oh, wow, we've got a lot of people joining in. Looks like that fancy fold card was kind of a draw. Yay. Just to give you a quick sneak peek of how this fancy fold works, because I realized that my photo on Instagram this morning and of course Facebook didn't really show the fancy fold, so let me show it to you so that if you know how to do this, you might even not want to watch. But let me just get it all ready here. So it is going to actually look like this. Hopefully you can see all of that. It's really a fun little fold. So we'll be doing that today, and I'm excited about that. And then of course, you know, little sneak peeks of some things coming up and some tips. A couple of things or at least one thing I forgot to talk about on my last Facebook Live. And then of course we can't forget to cover the fact that tomorrow is free shipping and handling at Stampin' Up. So for every single order that is over $50 retail before shipping, handling, tax, you will get Stampin' Up will automatically give you free shipping on your order. So I'm excited about that. Very excited about it. In fact, I'm going to spend pretty much the rest of the day contacting customers who maybe haven't ordered from me in a while and see if that will be the little key that will make them want to place an order. It's a great time of year to purchase some kits and maybe a couple of paper pumpkin subscriptions, get those under the tree, get a little Christmas shopping done, all with you know, your shipping and handling paid for, as long as that order's at least $50 retail. I don't know, do I have a lot to chit chat about today? Maybe. I have a couple of cards I got in the mail, so I have to show you the first one. Let me just check. I have to figure out what the stamp set was. All right, so this card is by one of my downline. Her name is Mary Smallage. She sent this to me in the mail, just addressed to the family, but of course I had to share it with you because it was a hand stamped card. And she used the Every Blessings stamp set, which I think was current back in 2015, and I'm not even sure how long it was in our catalogs. But it's a beautiful religious stamp set that had some religious sentiments in it, and so it's wonderful for those Christmas cards. And she used lots of glimmer paper on here, and then she stamped it on top of a designer series paper that we used to have that was Silent Night was written on that. So thank you so much, Mary Smallage. I love it. So pretty. I will be putting it on display in my Stampin' room. And then I have a card, another card. Judy just went wild sending me cards this month. So I opened this up, and also it was a family Christmas card, and it uses the stamp set God's Peace. And so that is where the sentiment is from. And then the stitched stars die is where that really pretty star comes from. And then she accented it with some rhinestones, which I think really add a lot to this card. So very fun, very pretty. Let me just check. I'm not seeing any comments. I see people are watching, but I'm not seeing any comments. So let me tell you that if you want to, you can make some comments. One of my little giveaway for this particular card is going to be one of my paper perks. And so a paper perk is some Stampin' Up paper that I size to fit perfectly on top of a card. And I will be sending out the Magnolia Lane paper perk from the bulk buy. So I'm going to be showing you that in just a second. And so, yeah, I don't know why I'm not getting any comments. I'm sure you're commenting because you're letting me know that you've shared. So when you share, your name goes in a drawing to maybe win the card and the paper perk. I'll do the drawing on Thursday. Gosh, I'm not sure why nothing is showing up. Let me see if I can make this. Oh, now I just turned it around. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know what I did here. Oh well, we'll just have to assume people are making comments. It is not showing up on my stream, but that's okay. I can just chit chat all by myself. All right, so what you want to do is share and then comment that you have shared this video on your timeline, Or if you are one of my wonderful YouTube subscribers and you are checking in on this YouTube, which is always a few days after my Facebook Live, usually within a week, you know, you can share from YouTube as well, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. Number one, it shows me that you like what I do, and therefore I am more inclined to keep doing it. And secondly, it helps me with my Stampin' Up! Business. I have a pretty busy family life, and I don't do a lot of home classes or anything like this. My business is completely online, and so it really, really helps me to find new customers, so I appreciate that. All right, so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you something I got as part of my little sneak peek, and this is something that will be available to new demonstrators when they join Stampin' Up! So if you join in December, not only will you be able to fill your starter kit with all kinds of goodies out of our new spring mini catalog, but you will also have the option to purchase before the end of December, or actually I believe you can even put it into your starter kit, is a mini paper cutter along with a sampler of paper. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like, and we're actually going to use it today on our cards. And it's so cute. Look at that. I love it. It's going to be perfect for cutting down photos. And I have several viewers who absolutely love to put photos onto their cards. Judy, you know I'm talking to you. And so this will be perfect for cutting down your photos for your cards or your scrapbooking. And it's also great for those little small pieces of paper when you just need to get a smidge off the edge in order to make sure that it's even or lined up or cut perfectly for whatever it is that you're doing. So I love this cute, cute little cutter. And once December 30th, or I think it's January 2nd, once the January 2nd happens, we demonstrators won't be able to purchase it anymore, and it will only be available to brand new demonstrators as part of their starter kit, as part of their little bonus when they join during celebration. So as a demonstrator during the month of December, we get to order it, but after December, we won't be able to get to order it. And if you join Stampin' Up! In December, you can actually put it into your starter kit, which I think is a great, great deal. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside, and then I think we're gonna go ahead and flip the camera down, and we'll get started making this beautiful and sweet fancy fold Good Morning Magnolia card. So give me a second here, everybody. I want to share something with you that I forgot to mention on the last Facebook Live that I did. Remember when we made those cute little tags? Do I have one here? Let me run grab one. We made those super cute little bottle tags that, you know, can fit over a champagne bottle or a wine bottle, and it says sip, sip, hooray. And you've got these darling little flute cutouts that we did with the framelets or the dies that went with that. And I forgot to mention that there is a coating, a little protective sheet that is over the top of your mercury glass acetate. And so I'm just going to show you. There's two sides to it. One's a super shiny side, and the other side's a little bit duller. So on the side that's a little bit duller, just use take your pick tool and just kind of scratch on that one corner. And then, look at this, you guys. Boom. You take off that protective coating, and now you have two super shiny sides. And the other thing is this will allow it to cut a little bit better when you go through your Big Shot machine. So, sorry about that I did not mention that on my last video, but I'm covering it now. And then another thing I want to talk to you about is today's card uses the Good Morning Magnolia bundle, and I know I've shared this probably with you before. Looks like this, and of course I always recommend getting the dies with the stamp set when you can, because that way you save 10% on your bundle. And it's beautiful, and there's a whole product suite. You need to go to the annual 2019-2020 Stampin' Up! Catalog to see the whole thing in all of its glorious detail. One of the parts to the suite is the Magnolia Lane Designer Series paper, which looks like this. And for this particular card, any single one of these designs will work great and look gorgeous. And one thing that customers and demonstrators always love is when Stampin' Up! On those rare occasions, because it isn't very often, they will occasionally come out with a bulk buy. And so this is the bulk buy. So it's 20 sheets of Designer Series paper from Magnolia Lane. So it's 10 sheets of 2 designs. So let me show you the 2 designs. So it's this lovely design here, which has the petal pink and white stripe on the back side. And then the other design are kind of these magnolia buds, and that's the other design. So you get 10 sheets of each of these, and then the back is the mossy meadow foliage sheet. And this is available not just to demonstrators. Stampin' Up! Recently made it available to our customers. So you can get this bulk buy for $17, and then the part number is 152455 if you want to make a note of it. Otherwise, another easy way to find it is to go to my online store and just type in Magnolia Lane in the search box, and it will come up with your different paper choices. All right. The other thing we're going to use on this card, and let me just show it to you again, is there is a, and I've kind of, it normally doesn't pop up like this, but I had this as one of my samples and people were picking up on it, looking at it, and so this is kind of curled up. But it's the Perennial Essence Vellum cardstock, which looks like this. And I love it because it's just a little bit see-through and it has just a tinge of color. So it looks really cool on this card. And so the colors that come with the Perennial Essence Vellum cardstock are Old Olive, which is this one right here. And then there's a So Saffron, which looks like that. Beautiful spring colors, or colors for any time of year. And then the Petal Pink. And so it's the Petal Pink that we'll be using today. So I'm going to set that aside. And then I want to show you something that I'm going to do a little bit different on this card. So this is the original card that I used when I first designed this card. And I did not want, see what it is there's a big long sheet of Whisper White strip paper in here. And I didn't want to use glue because that does show a glue line, especially when it has a little time to age. And so what I did, and I'll show you, I actually put it on with snail. However, snail over the top of an embossed piece is not particularly sturdy unless I'd want to put snail over the entire back side. So what I'm going to do today is show you how to make this card without using glue to glue this down, and using an adhesive that is going to definitely adhere it really, really well, so you don't have to worry about the recipient of this card getting it and just pulling it away. All right. We're also using the Stylish Scroll embossing folder. And so I'll be bringing this back into the picture in a little bit so you can see where I've used it. So let's go ahead and get started creating this card. And the first thing we're going to need is our card base. And so this is Early Espresso, and I have it cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I think I'm going to grab a piece of scrap in here so I can, you know, it doesn't show up real well against the black. So I'm going to bring this in so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. But again, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And what I'm going to do is take the Petal Pink paper, and I cut this and embossed it in advance. It's 4 by 5 1/4. So it's just a 1/4 inch less. And then I ran it through my die cutting machine with the Stylish Scroll embossing folder. And do you know where this folder is from? It's from the Halloween suite that's in our occasions catalog. But the embossing folder could be used for so much more than Halloween projects. It's a very elegant embossing folder, and I love it. And so we'll be using this as our background on our card. So to do that, since it is cardstock to cardstock here, and nothing really, nothing is going to hold that better than multi-purpose liquid glue. So I'm just taking my multi-purpose liquid glue and I'm putting a line all the way around, and I'm going to set this on here and just kind of wiggle that into place so all of my borders are nice and even. Then we're going to do the exact same thing to the other card as usual. I'm making 2 cards today because I'll do 2 giveaways on Thursday. And again, just make comments, share this video, and you are going to be entered in the drawing. And of course, if you share, do come back to this page and let me know that you've shared. So there we go. And now we're going to set these aside because we don't need to do anything with these until the very, very end. So I'm just going to set these aside. And I am going to grab this is Early Espresso, and this is what we're going to be building our entire card onto at this point. And so this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and so I'm going to cut another one of these with my little mini cutter from Stampin Up that I've just received. And again, this is the little special that Stampin Up is doing. So I have this cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So this is just a little scrap of paper, but I want to cut it down to 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So this little mini cutter goes up to 4 1/4 on the edge. So I'm going to just go like this, and then I'm going to do 3 1/4. So here is my 3-inch mark, and I'm just going to bring it over 1/4 more, make a little cut. So it's a little mini guillotine cutter, so it's very accurate, very sharp. And here we have our little panel. So well, if you're making 2 cards, you'll need to do 2 of these. So I'll just set those aside. And then the other thing we're going to need is some Whisper White paper. These are cut at 3 by 11, and they're scored at 4 inches and 8 inches. So of course I have 2 because I'm making 2 cards, but again, it's 3 by 11, scored on the long side at 4 inches and 8 inches. All right, so now the first thing we're going to do is do some folding. So I'm going to grab, oh no, my bone folder is not on my table. Let me see if it's in my drawer. Not in my drawer. All right, I do need to buy another bone folder. Hold on, let me go grab it. It's got to be over here somewhere. Right, I have this one. I can use this one here. This is a little bone folder that I got when I attended Center Stage in 2018. Stampin' Up gave this as a little gift. I love that. Stampin' Up's very gift-oriented. You may have realized that. And I think they attract the kind of people that want to work for them who are also very gift-oriented. So that would be many, many demonstrators that I know who just love to spoil their customers, and I would count myself in that group. All right, so let me go ahead and finish scoring these. So we're kind of doing a Z fold, which I will show you a little bit how that looks in just a second here. All right, so this is our Z fold, and we want the short part of the Z to the top. And we're going to open it up like this so that this area here is where we're going to do our inside panel stamping. So this is what it looks like, and I'm going to set it up like this so we can see where we need to stamp. So just so we don't get things mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside panel right away. And I am going to stamp it with a sentiment, of course, from Good Morning Magnolia. So I'm inking that up off camera with Early Espresso ink. I'm just going to set this right here. Oh, I have to bring it a little closer to me so I can make sure it's kind of even. Hold on. You almost have to fold it before you stamp it. And the reason is because you don't want to stamp on the wrong side. And if you have the folds down, then you kind of know where to stamp. So it says not only for what you do, but for being someone so special. You know what? That doesn't even match. That is so funny because I have thinking of you on the outside. And I think I meant to put thank you on the outside. Oh, brother. Where is my thank you stamp? Hold on. I gotta see if there's something else we can use. Where's my stamp set? Yes, I am using thanks, not thinking of you. If I was using thinking of you, I would say the journey of life is best shared with a friend. We'll get through this together. Perfect. But I am using thanks. So I will have to take that thanks out and get that ready. Isn't that funny, you guys? I know you're making comments because you're thinking, oh, this is just so like Kay. She thinks she's ready. She's got everything ready, but then she's really not ready. So hold on a second as I get this little thanks ready for you. And then we're going to change this card up so it says thanks, not only for what you do, but for being someone so special. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I caught that. Or you would have gotten this card in the mail and went, well, this doesn't even make sense, Kay. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. All right, so then on the other one, we're going to do the same thing. So these are going to be thank you cards, not thinking of you. Can't believe it. Sometimes I can be just so ditzy. All right, so here we go. Bringing this in, just like this. There we go. All right, so we have our inside stamped. I'm gonna set that aside for just a second. So let's go ahead and use our thanks stamp. And now I've got kind of an inked up thinking of you over here because I was practicing before the video went live. Obviously not reading what I was doing, just inking things up. All right, so now here's the thinking of you. I'm taking it off of my block and I'm going to add my thanks right here. And now we'll stamp thanks on a piece of scrap. So let me grab some scrap and we'll ink that up. It seems so quiet because I don't see any comments. So I'm just kind of chattering here and having no idea if there's anybody watching or not. So now I'm bringing in one of my favorite punches, which is the tailored tag punch. There it is. Stamped out the thanks. And you know what? I need 2 cards, so I'm going to do this over here, and hopefully I've left enough room. If not, I've got more scrap paper. God knows I've got plenty of scrap paper in this house. So we're going to bring this in. Oh, I think we got enough room here. Just center it in. Always punch from the bottom up when you are punching out sentiments. That way you can get them just perfect. The next thing we're going to do is punch out a couple more tailored tag punches. And I am looking frantically for the rest of my paper here. Hold on. Right here. So we've got another piece of scrap. This is Petal Pink. And so I'm going to punch out 2 more tailored tag punches. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set this up so that our thanks is layered with the tailored tag outline. So I'm going to just cut these in half. And then we're going to layer that onto our tag. So the way we're going to do that is flip that over and then grab some snail. And then what I like to do is I just hold it with one end, where you can see how I'm doing this, and then I just line it up so that everything is nice and even, about the same on both sides. Press that down, lift it up, and we'll do the same thing to the other side. And then we have this really pretty border on each side of our sentiment. That looks good. Flip it over, burnish it down, and we'll do the same thing for this one. So again, I just hold it by one side, bring it right over the top, make sure everything is nice and lined up and it has kind of a nice skinny border, and then you're going to do the same thing to the other side, and it really doesn't take very long. Just get that lined up. Oops, that one's, of course, now that I said it doesn't take very long, it wants to be all fussy with me. But there we go. That looks great. Well, maybe not, because look at, you can tell whether, well, maybe I cut it crooked too. I don't know. Let me check it out. Nope, it looks good from the front. I must have just cut it crooked because the back doesn't look like it should be even, but I think I just cut it crooked. Anyway, the front looks good, and that's what we're worried about, not the back side. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is grab our pieces of paper for our fancy fold. So we've got, and I just took some. So these are from our Magnolia Lane Designer Series paper, not necessarily the bulk buy. So these are cut at 3 by 4 inches. So this is a great card to make if you're being a little conservative with your Designer Series paper, because 3 times 4 is 12, so you'll be able to get 12 pieces out of one sheet of Designer Series paper. That way, if you are using, say, these 2 pieces together, you will get 12 cards out of 2 sheets of Designer Series paper for this particular style of card. So I'm going to go ahead and use these 2 first. And again, they're cut at 3 by 4 inches. And I am going to, at this point, take this middle section here, because I want the flowers to be to the top. Going to take the middle section here, and we're going to put one of those pieces of Designer Series paper right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that with some snail. And I just want to set it in here so that it's all nice and even. And that looks great. And then for the next piece, we're going to take this and we're going to set it onto this early espresso panel, which I'm going to try and find my little slip here. I should have it somewhere. Which, as you might remember, we cut down it's to 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So it'll give you a nice 1/4 inch edge all the way around. And I think probably this way looks the best. And then again, this one, you could use snail or you could use multi-purpose liquid glue. It doesn't matter. I used snail on this one because it was going on to Whisper White, and I'm just in the habit of not using glue on Whisper White paper. All right. Then we have this piece that's going to be attached to this little short Z flap, okay? So I'm going to take some snail again, put that over the top of my Z flap. Then I'm going to take this piece of paper that's already layered up. I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to flip this part upside down, and remember, I have my adhesive onto the short side. And I am just going to set this in, and I know you can't see it, so let me grab where'd my little scrap paper go here? Here it is. I'm going to grab this so you can see better what I'm doing. Just going to center this in so that all 4 sides are nice and even. Don't worry, we'll be doing this one more time so you can see how this works. So it looks like this. This is how it's going to look. See? All right, so let me do that again because I know that was a little tricky. Well, I don't know if it was tricky or not because I can't see any comments, but we'll do it again because I'm assuming it was probably a little tricky. So again, we have our stamped piece right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece right here, which again is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. We're going to take some Designer Series paper from Magnolia Lane, This is going to be the front of our card. So I'm going to use this one here, or I could use this one. Which one do I want to use? I think I'm going to go with this one. I like this. This one looks really pretty. Of course, they all look really pretty. It doesn't matter what you use. And then we're just going to center this in like so. So beautiful. All right, and then we're going to attach this to that. So flip the whole works over, and you're going to be putting adhesive on the short side. Uh-oh, I ran out. Hold on. I have another one here. Oh, as long as I ran out, let me show you. You know what? This would be a good time for me to show you something, because I don't think... I have customers literally who did not even know this. When we were at Fall Flair, they would run out of adhesive like this and throw the whole works into the trash, and I about fainted. So let me show you what you want to do when that happens. You want to grab an adhesive refill from Stampin' Up. So that looks like this. Let's take it apart. Grab the adhesive refill. Take this little thing that kind of holds the rolls together. You flip it over. You take the gray case, just flip it over right like this over the top, and shabam! You have a brand new roll of adhesive onto your base case, which I love. Great. Okay, so now back to the project here. Continue with putting snail onto the back of your card here. We have this all ready to go. So we're just going to now, at this point, attach this little flip out to this, because I'm just trying to get it all kind of even. All right, then there it is. Looks so pretty. I love it. All right, the next thing we're going to do is take this piece, and you can do this now or later. It doesn't matter what order the paper goes on. But I'm going to use the green part, or you could use this side too. Maybe I'll use this side. So then we'll put snail. It doesn't really matter which side you use, because everything is so gorgeous. So we're going to put snail on, set this in here, and there we go. So there's what our card is going to look like. So pretty. Okay, and now what we want to do is build up the front here with our tags, okay? So what I'm going to do is grab some vellum sheets. I've got my little vellum pieces ready. This is from Perennial Essence, and it's the petal pink, and these are cut at 5/8 inches by 4 inches. Got 2 panels here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach these with a little snail right in the middle, because you're not going to see this, because of the fact that there's going to be a tag going over the top. So we're just going to set this in so it's right in the middle of our card like this. Do the same thing over here. Just put it on with a little bit of snail. Set it right in the middle. Give it a good press, burnish it down. And of course, this is why you want to hide the adhesive. I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you can see this, because the adhesive does show through. Can you see that? So we want to avoid that. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our thanks and we're going to add some dimensionals. I know I have one that's started here. Let me grab that. Here we go. So I'm going to put 1 dimensional at the top and 1 dimensional here, and 1 here and 1 here. We want this nice and sturdy. And this is normally where I would look up, I'd see what you're commenting on, and I'd comment back. Today, not so much. Hopefully, we've got some watchers. All right, so I'm peeling away the peelies. Might as well do it on both of them as long as I'm working at it. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to center this in. Make sure you have it right side up so that the sentiment on the inside is going to be upwards. Then just take your thanks. You're going to set this right over the middle of your panel, centering it right over the top of that vellum strip. There we go. Looks so gorgeous. Do the same thing here. Just set that in so it's all nice and even. Beautiful. So now we're going to attach it to our card base, which we have prepared in advance. So that looks like this. And I had mentioned that I'm going to attach this so that it does not fall off, because snail, as I mentioned, snail has a, it just doesn't adhere as well to an embossed piece, and glue would work really well, except I don't want a glue line in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some tear and tape, which is a wonderful product from Stampin' Up, and we're just going to add some little strips. And that is a strong adhesive. So I'm pretty sure it's going to give us the grip that we're looking for so that it doesn't fall apart. And so these are the 2 cards that I will mail out to my winners probably on Friday, because I'll do the drawing on Thursday. And then I will give away a little sampler of our Memorial Lane Bulk Designer Series paper. So it'll be a little paper perk for you. All right, so now all we have to do is go in, and sometimes I just take a scissors, and we're going to peel off all of these peelies from the tear and tape. And that goes pretty quickly when you just use your scissors, or you could use the take your pick tool if you have it handy, whichever one you have the handiest, and just pull those away. And now it's just a matter of centering this onto the front of our card. So I'm going to do that. I'm holding this whole little fancy fold all together with my fingers in each corner. And what I'm doing is, as I set it on the card, I'm just trying to make sure that this and this match in evenness. So if those 2 places match, then everywhere else is going to match, provided that I've put it on correctly. And that's what it looks like. So we're going to do the same thing to this one. Get this on here just perfect. Then I'm going to flip it over from the back and just kind of burnish it down, and I know that this is not going anywhere, because that tear and tape adhesive is really strong. Get them so they're right side up. So there we go. So that is my share with you today. Thank you so much for joining me here at Stamping to Share. I truly appreciate you. Be sure you tune in for the free shipping and handling sale tomorrow. And I will have all that information on my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com, or you can find my Facebook post, which I'm sure I will be doing that. And I'm sending out a customer newsletter today, and trust me, if you're one of my customers, you will know about this sale. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.